Hello, this is our SIX1015 Group 3's presentation, Cryptography in National Security. These are our group members, JJ Amin, Monk Milvard, Colin Kao, Pengli J, and Parso Shamaizodo. Introduction. What is cybersecurity? According to IBM, cybersecurity is the practice of protecting critical systems and sensitive information from digital attacks. This comprises networks, the applications that run in them, and the information that flows through them. The importance of cybersecurity is paramount. According to Kaspersky, a leading Russian cybersecurity and antivirus firm, in 2019 alone, 7.9 billion private records were exposed in various data breaches globally. To fight this, governments and private companies around the world are spending more and more to strengthen their cybersecurity defenses, with cybersecurity spending expected to hit more than $150 billion in 2022. Now, as for cybersecurity in Malaysia, according to the 2020 edition of the Global Cybersecurity Index, annually published by the International Telecommunication Union of the United Nations, Malaysia is highly ranked, sitting at 3rd in Asia and 5th in the world overall, tying with the Russian Federation and the United Arab Emirates. That said, there are concerning instances of cybersecurity failures in Malaysia. One of the more prominent recent ones was the alleged hacking of the National Registration Department of Malaysia, also known as JPN, in late 2021. The private citizen data of 4 million Malaysian citizens was breached and offered to anonymous buyers online in exchange for Bitcoin.
I will be explaining to you what is cryptography. Cryptography is a method of protecting information and communication through the use of codes. It is a provable technique that ensures safe communication. It also represents the lock and key in information security. What are some of the types of cryptography? First, substitution cipher, Caesar cipher, private key cryptography, AES cipher, public key cryptography, RSA cipher, emerging cryptography, ECC quantum. Next, RSA encryption scheme. Under RSA encryption, messages are encrypted with a code called a public key, which can be shared openly. Due to some mathematical properties of the RSA algorithm, once a message has been encrypted with a public key, it can only be decrypted by another key, known as the private key. It is normally used in securing information communications, online shopping, and also banking system, and it works on the basis that factorization of integers is difficult. Next, move on to the procedure. First, two keys are generated, the private and also the public key. Public key is the product of two large primes. Then, the sender will encrypt using the public key, while the receiver will decrypt using the private key. Let's move on to the next one, the uses and benefits of cryptography. First, SSL and TLS encryption. Browsing the internet is secure today primarily because cryptography has allowed you to encrypt your data flow, starting from browser identification to server authentication. Encryption and cryptography, in general, have simplified online browsing. Next, digital signatures. With digital signatures gaining prominence, the world was in the need of a secure channel to pass critical documents through. Cryptography helps provide a layer of authentication so you can be certain regarding the origin, confidentiality, and integrity of your documents. Next, online banking. Online banking services and payment applications would be an afterthought, if not for encryption of data. Cryptography has enabled authentication systems to verify the identity of certain individuals before allowing them to hold transactions and help reduce credit card fraud in the process. Follow-up, secure chatting services. Messaging applications like WhatsApp, Telegram, and Signal have now adopted an end-to-end encryption protocol, which guarantees that no one other than the sender and receiver can receive the message and to read them. Then, encrypted emails. With a vast amount of private information passing through your inbox, having a secure method of communication is an absolute necessity. Last one, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a completely decentralized, secure, and tamper-proof system. It has found its way into today's digital sphere. thanks to cryptography. That's all from me.
Although cryptography seems like a very tough field for Malaysia to make substantial progress, our country ranks highly on the world stage as stated before. Now, we'll dive deeper into the state of cryptography in Malaysia that will improve our cybersecurity for the better. Firstly, Malaysia has a lot of strong government initiatives to fuel cryptography development. Firstly, Malaysia's Department of Communications and Multimedia had published a document titled the National Cybersecurity Strategy. This 5-year plan, spanning from 2020 to 2024, is a comprehensive guide to deal with modern cyber threats to Malaysia's sustainable development and infrastructure. It has 5 main pillars, which are effective governance, strengthening legislative framework, improving research and development, increasing awareness, and to strengthen global collaboration. Another government initiative is the formation of MyCell, or, in other words, Cybersecurity Malaysia Cryptographic Evaluation Laboratory. Its purpose is to evaluate cryptographic systems in products to enhance user security and trust in security products. Secondly, Malaysia has actively researched and developed new methods in cryptography. For instance, in many universities such as USM, UPM, and UTM, there are dedicated cryptography labs that produce talented researchers in the field. Also, our country has the Malaysian Society for Cryptology Research, which frequently holds research conferences and actively manages the International Journal of Cryptology Research. Besides that, Malaysia has also actively developed novel cryptographic systems such as the Chili Padi lightweight cipher and a smart pay system based on the Ethereum blockchain. Thirdly, Malaysia has also published a list titled Senarai Algoritma Cryptography Terpercaya Negara, otherwise known as MySeal, and this document contains a list of trusted cryptographic algorithms by the country in its national security purposes, such as to protect classified documents and to secure government communications. MySeal is in line with the National Cryptographic Policy and serves to encourage collaboration and research within Malaysia. This list also serves as a guideline for future security products to be recommended by the Malaysian government.
Cryptography and cybersecurity do play a role in sustainable development in Malaysia. So these target 2 SDGs, SDG 8 and SDG 9, which are decent work and economic growth, and industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So these 2 SDGs are closely related, as SDG 8 promotes sustainable economic growth, whereas SDG 9 promotes domestic technology development, research, and innovation in developing countries like Malaysia. So how do cryptography and cybersecurity fulfill these 2 goals? Well, in this digital age, more and more businesses and all sorts of economy are transitioning towards digital platforms. So hence, digital platforms have to be safe and reliable to use. So cryptography and cybersecurity ensures that these platforms are easy to use, and this convinces business owners to bring their business to digital platforms such as e-commerce websites. So cybersecurity and cryptography prevents potential hacking, potential malicious attacks, or any sort that might damage the business. So as more local businesses transition to digital platforms, this allows them to have an international reach, as anybody can access their website from around the globe. So this increases their income, hence fulfilling the SDG 8, which is economic growth, whereas a strong and reliable cybersecurity promotes SDG 9, which is a sustainable and resilient industry. So, despite cybersecurity and cryptography being so important, there are also many challenges when we want to implement it in Malaysia. So, there are 2 main challenges in which there are many types of attacks against information systems, and there's also a lack of IT talent in Malaysia. So, first of all, there are different types of attacks, such as observation attacks, perturbation attacks, and as well as hardware-targeted software attacks. So, the problem is that any any sophisticated hacker can avoid regular defenses. So cybersecurity becomes more difficult as hackers get better. So it's always a combat between cybersecurity improving and hackers overcoming that, and then end the cycle. Then next, there's also a lack of qualified professionals in Malaysia that can develop the cybersecurity industry. So also, high fees of cybersecurity cannot be afforded by small and local businesses. So hence, a lot of businesses in Malaysia are susceptible to digital attacks.
So based on the challenges that I mentioned just now, we can overcome them by some of the initiatives to improve the state of cryptography and cybersecurity in Malaysia. For example, the companies and organizations may increase the cybersecurity funding, hire better security consultants and experts, while also improving their security software in order to prevent the frequent attacks against the information system. In order to deal with these challenges, Malaysia's National Cybersecurity Agency (NACSA) can also take responsible in ensuring Malaysia's critical infrastructure under constant audit and supervision. Next, in order to deal with the challenge in lacking of IT talent, new economic policies can be introduced to stimulate the IT sector. For example, the government can establish tax subsidies for IT companies and give national grants to firms in key sectors. Besides that, the government should also ensure the availability for proper educational platforms, such as they can increase the funding to IT or security department in all the universities. By doing so, we are able to foster more IT talent and promote the IT development in Malaysia. So jumping into the conclusion, cryptography plays a vital role in the rise of Malaysia as a growing economy, especially within the technologically advanced region of Asia. The state of cryptography isn't too bad in Malaysia, but we should also strive for better in order to thrive into the digital market. As such, the next generation should look towards the IT sector more, as the future of the country heavily depends on the advancement of the tech industry. If Malaysia is able to become the leader in cryptography and cybersecurity, they will guarantee the position of Malaysia as the center of the technological hub. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.